Well, earlier this month, we brought you a grim report from the Department of the Interior highlighting the dark legacy of Indian boarding schools in the United States. The federal government believes the remains of thousands of Native American children who died at the schools could soon be found. Tonight, MTN's Jackie Coffin introduces us to a Northern Cheyenne woman who's finding truth in the terrors of the past.
The Secretary of Interior report identifies 408 schools either operated or supported by the federal government across 37 states and 10 territories. 18 of those schools were here in Montana.
America, we know, is built on bones.
It can take years, even decades, for history to be revealed. And that's especially true here at the Chemawa Boarding School Cemetery near Salem, Oregon, where countless people are buried.
It's an awful, awful secret, too.
These boarding schools opened in the mid-19th century, and some operated into the 1960s and 70s. In some cases, children were taken from homes and placed in the schools. The twin goals of the federal government: cultural assimilation and dispossession of native land. Many of those children never returned home. Many died from abuse, disease, and injuries. Survivors and their descendants have dealt with layers of trauma, including the unanswered questions of what happened and why.
In a Cheyenne way, we're all related. So one Cheyenne feels something, another Cheyenne feels it too.
Marcia Small is trying to change that. She's a researcher from the Sitsitas-Sotelo Northern Cheyenne Nation and is now a PhD candidate in archaeology at Montana State University. Her work, which has gained international attention, is focused on applying GPR, ground-penetrating radar technology, to survey sites like this for their remains.
Well, I've been working on this Indian boarding school cemeteries since 2013, maybe even before that, through preservation of sacred sites.
Last September, she invited me to accompany her while she surveyed this site in Oregon.
I have access to several different machines, instruments. We can show where the markers are in accordance with where the anomalies, the graves are. That's what we found out here so far, is that none of the markers really mark any of the graves.
The Chemawa School is still operational, but in a different capacity. Most of the federal schools are closed, but the trauma children experienced is still in living memory.
The cutting of the hair, the beatings, the sexual, the physical, the emotional abuses have created this, this hell on reservations.
As the Department of Interior digs deeper into the horrors of the U.S. Indian boarding school system, Small has her eyes set on sites in Montana. I'm Jackie Coffin reporting for MTN News.